Hey guys, this is Jay. So this is a new video I'm going to be doing for you guys, and I've been planning on doing this for a while. Just didn't really have any idea of how to put it all together. So being the fact that it's summer and a lot of shows are going to be happening more, this summer, I decided to do a video on how to survive a K-pop show. So I decided to break this down into four categories. So pretty much the first one is your kind of K-pop concert wish list, and then second would be buying the actual tickets, and then preparing for the show and actually surviving the actual show. So I wrote this down, and so sorry if my handwriting is really terrible. So pretty much the first one is group or solo artist you want to see live. So obviously, you want to see your bias group live, right? So, for example, I want to see, if I have the opportunity, I want to see 21 live. Now, I unfortunately missed out on them when it came out in 2012. So, I mean, hopefully, if, in the future, they'll come back to the States. So, that is something, what I mean by someone you want to see, but it doesn't necessarily have to be your biased group. So for example, like I said, 21 is my biased group, but I also like VIX, and I would also love to see them live. So kind of have an idea of who you want to see live. So another tip would be, are they coming to my country? Or city. If you live in the States, would be city, or if you don't live in the States, would be in my country. So we already know, as of the past couple years, K-pop idols have been more often coming to the States for tours, where back in the day it wasn't really all that often. But being the fact that K-pop is getting, more well known internationally, that idols are now coming to not just the States, but to Canada, Mexico, South America, Europe, Australia. So they're going all over the world. So another thing is, but at the same time, it's they don't always come to your city or country. So you're just hoping, okay, will they come to my area? And then another thing that's important is, am I willing to travel outside of my city or country? Now, for example, so KCON. Obviously, before they announced the New York show, KCON was more so in LA. So with people okay, am I really willing to travel all the way to Los Angeles to go to KCON? And not just KCON, but I'm trying to think recently. Oh, for example, Top Dog. So Top Dog had their it was this year, yeah, I think it was this year or last year, where Top Dog had their showcase in more so the South. So I think it was in Atlanta and Miami. I think they went somewhere else, but either way, they went down to the South. So they didn't go. I don't think they went out west or Texas or up north. It's more so I think the South. So again, so it's am I willing to travel to another city, or am I going to travel to another country to see them? And another important thing is setting a ticket budget. Obviously, you want to get, front row. You want to get the VIP. But, I mean, honestly, just be realistic. Can you afford those tickets? So, you know what I'm saying? So, set a budget. I mean, and if you want to get VIP, then get VIP. But make sure you start saving to get that ticket. But if not, also have an alternate. Okay, so, if you can't get VIP, then okay, if I can't get that, then I can get another ticket. So something like that. And then another thing is, make plans with friends. So, for example, I plan on going to KCON with my friend. I didn't know she was going to KCON this year, but she is. So I plan on going with her. But in some situations, your friends can't go because, work or school or money problems, or they can't go. So it's no one wants to go to a concert by themselves. So use social media. That's how I met my friend, through Tumblr. So, there's nothing wrong with making friends to go to shows. People do it all the time. They make posts, oh, I'm going to a show, anyone's going, and then that's how they make friends. So that's pretty much the first part of the How to Survive a K-pop show. So, second would probably be buying the tickets. So again, with, sticking with the budget, stick to your budget. It's really important because you don't want to go over that budget when you're getting the ticket. I know you want to get that said ticket, but don't go overboard and also you buy a ticket you didn't really plan on buying, and then you're stuck with a ticket that you can't really afford. So again, you just stick with that budget. And then definitely wake up early. I can't stress this enough, because a lot of times tickets go on sale like 9-10 o'clock in the morning. Except for when I went to go see Infinite, they had their tickets around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But 9 times out of 10, most ticket sales go on sale either 10 o'clock or noon. So, and it's most likely on a Saturday. I don't really know most tickets to go on during the week, so it's mostly on the weekend. So, if you like to sleep in late, you better wake up early because you don't want to miss an opportunity to get your ticket. And then another thing is to use alternate, devices. So whether you have an iPod, iPad, cell phone, computer, try to use anything possible if one thing doesn't work. So for example, my computer wasn't working, so I had to buy my ticket on my phone, and I used the Live Nation app. So they do have apps. So like Live Nation and Ticketmaster do have apps. So if you can't get to it on a computer, you can download it on, like I said, your iPod, iPad, or your cell phone. Don't have to pay for it. All you gotta do is just use that to buy your tickets. So, something to think about. And do not panic. I don't know how many times I've been through that too, but I really wouldn't stress, because stressing is not going to make the situation any better. So of course, you're getting tickets, and then of course, you get the sign, the message on the website, oh, there's no tickets. So just don't panic and just try, just keep trying. Do not panic, because of course they're going to automatically say, oh, they're sold out, but there are still tickets available. So again, do not panic. And so we're going to go to the third category. It will be preparing for the show. So one would be buying merch. So, you can either do two things. You can either buy it beforehand or buy it at the show. Now, if you ask me, I would buy merch prior. So if you want to buy, so say for like example, Big Bang. I already know Big Bang has merch available, so I honestly would decide to buy it beforehand, because at the same time, if you do buy it at the show, you're gonna have to carry that shit the entire show, and especially like if you're in the pit, because I don't think, at least in Jersey, I don't think they have like a coat check. I don't think so. So again, you're gonna have to carry all that merch the entire show. So do you really want to do that? So just to save you, some problems, just buy it ahead of time. And then, I know at the Best Buy Theater, they have coat check, but the line is ridiculously long every time I've been there. So just avoid that. So just buy it beforehand. And another thing, plan to getting to the venue. So especially if you're not from that area. So like, so prime example, BTS is coming to New York, and there's going to be people that don't live in the tri-state area coming to the show. So just in advance, just have an idea of how to get there, whether you're taking the train, the bus, if you're flying, if you really want to do that. Just, just set a plan to getting to the venue. Just, not just the venue, but just to the city of the venue. So like, for example, like I said, with BTS, there's definitely different ways to getting to New York. So if you live like in Jersey, for example, you can take the bus or the train. It's a New Jersey Transit. Where I live, to get to New York is like, by bus, it's like an hour. I think it's like $10 there. So it's like $20 altogether. 10 there, 10 back. And it'll drop you right off in Port Authority. That's the bus station in New York. And that's on 42nd. And the Best Buy Theater is on 44th. So you literally have to walk like a couple blocks. And it's like literally right there. So it's not far of a distance of a walk. I mean, there you can also take the train. If you want to take the Amtrak, you can do that. The Amtrak will take you right into Penn Station, which is on 34th. And again, it's a nice walk. I say it's definitely a few blocks, but you can either walk, you can either take a cab. That's really up to you. But pretty much, most of the K-pop acts, they mostly have their shows like either at Hammerstein or Best Buy Theater. But I have heard, remember Vicks had their show at Terminal 5, which is like on the other side of town. So now if it's somewhere like that, I'd probably take a cab. Or if you know how to take the MTA, the bus, you can do that as well. Or the subway. There's especially in New York, there's many ways to getting where you need to go. But definitely I would definitely plan on getting, have a plan to get to the venue if you're definitely not from the area. And another thing is planning a meeting place for friends. So every time I go to a concert, I meet with my friend. She lives in Pennsylvania. So every time we go to a show, I 9 times out of 10 get to New York before her. So, and we always meet in Penn Station. So every time we go into the show, I'll talk to her beforehand, and I'll say, okay, I'll meet you by the Amtrak. Okay, so so something like that. Or if you're not gonna meet in the actual bus station, train station, meet like at a public spot. So like at a nearby like McDonald's or something. Just plan somewhere so you guys can meet up and you can go to the show. And another thing, save money just in case, because you never know, anything could happen. Just honestly, like, I cannot stress this enough. My mom always tell me, I'd rather you have too much money than not enough money. So definitely save money. I mean, just for anything, for food. If you decide to buy stuff, if you didn't originally plan to buy stuff at the show and you decide to, or you just so happen to lose your ticket to get home, you can make sure you have money, especially if you're definitely traveling outside of New York. So definitely just save money just in case, because you never know what happens. And last is definitely surviving the actual show. So again, another thing that's pretty much important is setting a meeting place after the show. So after the concerts, it's pretty crazy getting outside, because there's 9 times out of 10 there's gonna be like a high touch. So there's people lined up for that. There's gonna be people lined up for the bathroom, trying to get last minute merch, or going to like the coat check and stuff like that. So just have a spot to meet your friends after the show. And another thing is to try, it honestly depends on where what venue you're in. So I'm only going on in New York because I've only been to shows in New York. So try to find a spot so you can take photos and fan cams. I think the best bet, if you're going to be in the Best Buy Theater, is the platform. Definitely the platform is like pretty much a great vantage point to catch photos and fan cams. And honestly, those are like the best spot. Like, I've seen most fan cams, the best fan cams are actually on the platform, because if you're in the crowd, you gotta worry about people in your way, and then light sticks and signs and all that shit. So it's kind of hard to get those great fan cams and photos in the crowd. So definitely try and find a great spot for that. And prepare to get sweaty, because honestly, it gets hot. You wouldn't think so, especially, even when I'm going to go see Infinite, and I'm at Hammerstein, and Hammerstein is way bigger than the Best Buy Theater, but I swear to God, it's it got really hot. It did get hot at a point. But definitely, if you're going to the Best Buy theater, it's going to get hot. And it's just everyone on top of each other. And it's just all close to you guys, each other. So just know it's going to get sweaty up in there. And another important thing is to avoid altercations. Because honestly, I've heard of so many stories of like someone getting into like a shoving match, and I've heard of people getting like hit and stuff at concerts. So just honestly, like, there's gonna be some assholes at the show. So just try to just avoid it, just ignore it. You paid all that money, and it'll be a waste if you got kicked out because you got into a fight. You know what I'm saying? So just just avoid if it's unavoidable, then do what you gotta do. But if you can't avoid it, just avoid it, because you're there to enjoy the show. You're there to have fun. So that's just the main thing. So don't let anyone try to ruin your good time. And this one, I cannot stress enough. I honestly can't stress enough, because I've been through this and I've seen this many times. Avoid the pit if need be. Like, I've been in like pit at shows, more so hip-hop shows, and I think it's actually worse than K-pop shows, because I've been to concert and people like to smoke weed, and then I don't smoke, so it's like I'm constantly surrounded by it, and it really bothers me. So that's not fun. And with K-pop shows, I mean, again, that's where like the altercations pretty much go down, because you're all on top of each other. You're trying to take pictures, and you're like, you're having fun, and you're not really controlling how you are, like, body wise, or you might accidentally hit someone in the head. I don't know, but and then it's just like, I just heard way too many horror stories in the pit. I think the worst one would probably be Infinite. Like, I mean, I told this in my Infinite video, but, yeah, I was on the balcony, the first balcony, and I think we got to, like, the third song, and I look in the pit, and I just see people moving from side to side, and I'm like, I don't think they're waving their arms. I think that people were, like, shoving each other from side to side, and I swear for, like, a good minute, I seen like so many girls getting pulled out the crowd, because some people can't handle being in close quarters, and again, you're hot, you're sweaty. It's some people get a little claustrophobic, and then it's like it can be a little much for people. So honestly, it's like, if you can't handle stuff like that, then don't do the pit. If you have a GA ticket, try to find another area to go to besides the actual pit. Like, I know there's some GA where they have like stairs and stuff like that. Try to do that. If there's a platform, try to aim for that. But if you aren't down with getting pushed and shoved and getting all sweaty and almost getting hit and stuff like that, don't do the pit. I honestly cannot stress this enough. I've told people to not do it, and they came back to me and told me, oh, I should have listened to you. Like, people don't listen to me. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, if you ain't about that pit life, don't do it. I swear, like, I'm honestly, I'm not even bullshitting you guys. Like, if you're not about that life, do not do it, because you will thank me later. Honestly. But, besides that, other than that, have fun. I mean, you paid all that money to go. You went to go see whether your biased group or artist, and you did all this stuff, so you might as well have fun, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just my survival guide on how to survive a K-pop show. And I can honestly, you can use these tips for just concerts, period. It's not just K-pop shows, but I just figured, like, since it's a K-pop channel, use it for a K-pop show. But, you can use it for general concerts. But anyways, I am done. And I hope you guys take these tips, and I hope you guys enjoy your K-pop shows you're going to go to this summer and coming months and all that good stuff. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later.